Uh-uh. Okay, okay. Testing one, two, testing one, two, testing one, two, testing. I don't know if y'all can see me good. My trying to get centered here on this camera. Hope y'all can see me. Anyway, it's your boy GQ the Voice, aka Gerald E4, aka just trying to get this right. Test run. Trying to get out this echo. Get out the echo. Yeah, I'm out the echo now. Yeah, we better. We better. I think that's better. Yeah. I don't want to get no feedback, so tuning my knobs and everything. Hope I don't get no negative feedback. But yeah. It's your boy GQ the Voice once again, trying to bump my gums, do this thing right, talk about some current events and stuff, see what's going on. Um, yeah. I'm grateful to be here. Thank you for everybody that's want to support me. Appreciate you, Sean. Great. Thank you very much, very much, very much, very much. Appreciate you. Trying to get this right. Yeah. Anyway, testing out my sound effects and all that. But on some real stuff, I want to ask, not want to ask, but I want to just talk about the fact that we live in a different world right now, and it's a lot of people that are sorry about that. It's a lot of people that are walking around still stuck in the cloud. They don't know what's going on. They ain't got no sense of direction or whatever the case. I don't know what it is, but for the most part, I I think it's a sad state of affairs when you got these kids running around out here the way they're running around out here. I'm trying to develop a program called Saving Our Sons and Daughters. For short, it's called So Sad because it is sad. It's a sad situation that you have all of these kids out here doing crimes and slashings and cuttings and using drugs and gangs and all of this and all of that, right? And I'm just trying to figure out, do anybody ask the question, like, where the parents at? Where the parents at? Like, I know there's a lot of single parent households out there, and all that. That's cool. And I was listening to a video the other day where this woman was talking about how in single family households where there's one parent, statistically proven that they have the poorest upbringing of children, so to speak. They end up in gangs and prison and drugs, whatever. And they got stats to prove that. I'm gonna try to get those stats and I'll post them one day for y'all. But yeah, that's kind of true because you got to understand. Let's look at it from reality standpoint. You got kids, 1.2 kids, whatever, boy, girl, however you want to do it. They out and about, ripping and running, going to school, supposed to be. Um, you at work or wherever you doing, you ain't got time to, watch your kids, monitor your children. Okay, cool. So your kids are ganged up. Now they go out and commit crimes. They come home, whether you know it or not, or you should have an idea what your kids is doing. You're harboring a criminal. This is how law enforcement is looking at this in some other states. I hope I'm not jumping topic too fast, but they're looking at it how if your kids are living with you under your roof and they go out and about every day and they do whatever they do, get in trouble, whatever, stealing cars, gangs, whatever they're doing, and they get arrested, you got to come pick them up, whatever, whatever, whatever. Or if they're out doing, they in the gang and they just continuously doing crimes. Um, and you harboring these people in your house. You think it's you just letting your kids back home, but you're harboring criminals. So technically, you can't get arrested, and that happens in a few states, southern states, where and I think somewhere out in the Midwest, where a 14-year-old had got into some type of trouble, serious trouble, felonies involved and all that, and they came and locked them up. Yeah, so it's coming, man. So we live in a different world now. AI taking over everything. Oh my God, yo, AI is taking over everything. And they even doing comparisons now. They playing music. Can you tell the difference? They showing you movies and videos. Can you tell the difference? Um, I mean, it's good for certain things, but not for everything because you gotta understand something. people can't, you know, function on their own. Now you're giving them a tool that they're gonna use, then they're gonna be the tool that they're using is gonna be just as ineffective as they are because you have to program this AI to work right for you. So if you don't really know nothing, what you think the AI gonna know? Even though the AI is trained to gather information and get smarter to interact with you and other humans better. But check this out. It was said back in the day that anything that the other people are gonna do, so to speak, they're gonna show it to you in a movie, right? We all know that's true, right? Think about it now. Y'all remember the Terminator, right? Let's think about this from let's look at this from a reality standpoint and what's going on with technology and everything. Check China's technology and everybody else's technology compared to ours. We slow, but we getting there. But think about it. Attack of the machines. Remember Terminator when the machines turned on each other? Yeah. So you know, allegedly there's a situation out where hackers are tuning into the AI thing. They hacking the AI, system, and they targeting billionaires and certain people that's of notoriety or whatever value, high value. They rich in other words, right? And they got pacemakers. So here's a scenario: businessman, he's on the golf course. He's walking around in life untouchable. So he thinks he's a billionaire. He's making business deals. A lot of people don't. For those that don't know, a lot of business deals are done on golf courses, playing golf. Yeah. Anyway, that's another topic for another day. But the scenario is the hackers tapped into this guy's account. He suffered a heart attack on the golf course. They rushed him to the hospital. Boom. He gets to the hospital, gets checked in, vitals and everything. Family notified. Everybody's on their way to see him. And he's stuck in business mode no matter what his situation is. He's constantly thinking about his business and making more money. That's all he really cares about. So after about, a couple of hours of being in the hospital, settled down and everything, he gets a text message. The hackers is reaching out to him, introducing themselves to him, letting him know that we did this to you. And yeah, they did that. And they told him, they said, listen, if you don't send XYZ amount of money, we're going to do it again. And to make you a believer, in about 5-10 minutes, you're going to have another little mild brush. He took it for granted and brushed it off. Lo and behold, 15 minutes later, he had another one, a little mild one. They came and revived him and got him back together. He calmed down, and based on what the text said, like don't say nothing to nobody, whatever. He did that. He kept it quiet, and he ended up paying $30 million in bitcoins to somebody, and that was that. But that's just go to show you of the level of what's coming. Because if I can sit here and tell you that story, right? That's an alleged story. Just imagine what's really going on with the hackers and being, because they tap into a lot of systems, and they be getting that ransom. They exposed the DEA a couple of times. If you don't give us XYZ amount of money, we're gonna put all the active DEA agents on file on the internet right now. They paid that money in 10 minutes. 10 minutes they paid it because they put one name up. They put one name up on their screen, and it was a wrap. So, yeah, that's how they do it. But that's the world we living in right now. For those that don't know or don't have no idea, or you do have an idea and think it's a game. It's not a game, man. Just like what old Yellowhead is doing. He's talking about Mr. Donald J. He wants to be a dictator. And for those of you that know what a dictator is, that's what he's trying to do. He wants to be Putin. His wife is an implant. I don't care what nobody say. She's here for ulterior motives. I don't care what nobody say. And you can't run up on her though, because she got Secret Service protection. Plus, she's a jujitsu expert. So she know how to handle herself. I don't know what he know how to do, yeah, but yeah, that's a whole conspiracy right there. And add to the fact that what he's trying to do cause dissension throughout the country, and it's working in some aspects, some is not. The crazy part is all of the people that were supporting his MAGA movements and all this, they kind of upset that they voted for him right now because look what he's doing. And a lot of people was mad because he really is doing what he said he was going to do, but he's going crazy with it. I'm surprised he's still in office. I'm surprised he's still walking around, but y'all know how it go. Somebody got to go, and I don't know, man. It's just crazy, but yeah, that's the world we live in. A lot of shenanigans going on, backdoor shenanigans. Like I said, the American people suffering, and he building ballrooms and all this nonsense, and wasting people's time and money and resources on over nonsense. Healthcare is out of whack. The economy's out of whack. He's out of whack. Politicians, period, is out of whack. I mean, think about it, man. Politicians are so full of, you know what I'm saying? They're so full of it because we don't know you until it's election time. Why you don't come around when it's not election time and ask us about, what's going on in the neighborhood or what can be done to improve the neighborhood, getting the potholes fixed, more lights on the block or whatever. I mean, think about it. Why y'all don't talk about what's needed for the kids? Why ain't no recreation centers being built in the neighborhoods? For all you so-called local black politicians that we put in office, what y'all doing? But they can only do what the people ask. It made me think about when I was locked up and incarcerated, and I was on the ILC committee, and they used to always have meetings, with the depth security and all that and everything. So they ask us every month, any complaints? And I was the ILC rep, so I didn't have no complaints. So, but when I always got back to the door, everybody said, yo, this, that, everybody got something to say, but they don't want to put it on paper. You put it on paper or you present it to the powers that be, they got to do something, which leads me back to say how the politicians, they don't come around until it's election time. They don't come around and ask about, child care and health care and all this and all that. They don't do those things. But they want your votes when it's election time. They don't come around and ask you whether or not your apartment is up to par, heat and all that good stuff. They don't do these things. So, but we vote for these people. So, what's that saying about us, those that do vote? Are we doing our homework to put the right people in office? I don't think so. Because look around, look what's going on. But that's a whole other can of worms because politicians, to me, in my view, are like lawyers. They're professional liars. They go to school and they spend money to learn how to lie. That's why they tell me the truth so I can go lie for you. So, once you understand that and know that, then it's yeah, you can get around a lot of things if you know that. If not, then get it how you get it. But yeah. And first and foremost, let me say that I'm bumping my gums right now. This is my little first joint that I'm really doing. That I'm putting it out there. Usually I go on Facebook and do live videos and all that, but I'm trying to establish myself and get used to this. Get familiar with the podcast and speaking to people and because eventually I'm going to end up on the radio. That's my goal. That's the intention. So shout out to me. Shout out to me. I just have a round of applause. It's not funny though, but yeah. E4 Enterprise is on the move. We're trying to make it happen. I'm grateful for that. Yeah. Shout out to Harlem. Shout out to all the Harlem legends. Yeah. Listen. We need to support our black business owners. I need to say this. We need to support our black writers, uh, our labor workers, our people who started their own business as COVID had unfolded, and they doing good now. I see a couple of people still doing their thing. Shout out to my friend Robin. She doing the crochet thing. Y'all need to check her out. Yeah, yeah, Robin Gore. She be on social media, advertising her stuff, her headgear. Yeah, she do her thing with that crochet. Check her out. Yeah, anybody that's doing something positive with themselves, I respect that, and we need to support each other. And it's sad how we don't, but yet we'll go spend $20 on something that ain't worth nothing and be mad about spending money. But if you'd have bought a book or something that you could pass on or something that supporting another black business to get to the next level, hey, you never know, man. We only strong as the weakest link. And so, we got a lot of weak links. I understand that. We got a lot of people with ulterior motives, hidden agendas. That's another thing that prevents blacks from moving forward. Everybody got that mentality. Condemn each other and hate on each other instead of uplifting each other. We got the numbers. We just ain't got the unity. We just ain't got the, I don't know, man, what's going on, what it's going to take to make us wake up one day and say, you know what? Let me support that brother down the block that's trying to get his whatever off the ground. Let me support that sister in her business or whatever. Let me go over here and add what I, what I'm saying? If everybody took that attitude, we could do some things, man. You know what I'm saying? Each one teach one. Together we can be one. I mean, like, really, seriously. I mean, we got the mentality, but what is it? What's wrong? I mean, we all twisted. Think about this, man. Think about this. We all basically fucked up. Excuse my vernacular. Some people make they struggle look better than others because they got a job or two or hustle, like that. So, but the bottom line is we all trying to make that money. We all trying to secure our family, secure the bag, so to speak, for whatever reason. So if we understand that and we all got a common goal to make money, whatever you're doing, whether you're doing deliveries, whether you making clothes, whether you cooking food, whether you cleaning somebody's house or cleaning somebody's office buildings, whatever. When you got your own company, you go with your hands. Shout out to all the brothers and sisters out there that's good with your hands. My boy Link Stuckey, aka Mr. Get It Done. I know a couple of brothers that's good with their hands. If 5 of y'all get together, that's a contracting company. Come on, man, what's wrong? What we doing here? Let's get together and support each other. But that's just food for thought, man. And with that being said, I'm about to sign off and I want to see how this thing look, see how it sound, see what's going on. But peace in the Middle East, more hair grease. I'm out. Okay.